June, I started to move quietly, sometimes reaching out to them, so we could record the first interviews. And I am releasing the interviews every week, every Saturday. And I, for instance, on the Facebook group for blind people, I share the full episode link, so you will find them there. And that's why me and Aaron came into contact each other. That's pretty much the story.
Yeah, excellent. By the way, just want to let you know that let's pause for just a moment here and let me remind you that I hope you love coffee, because Aaron's Opinion is brought to you by Blended Joe LLC. As in blendedjoe.com, BLENDEDJOE.com. If you want fruit in your coffee, if you want chocolate, if you want nuts, if you want flavors, if you want a light roast, a medium roast, or a dark roast, if you want to buy coffee that supports a charitable cause that means a lot to you, Blended Joe's got you covered. Now until the end of the month, 20% off all purchases. At checkout, promo code Aaron, AARON. I guarantee that if you're sitting at home while listening to Aaron's Opinion, or if you're on the go, you'll love every sip from Blended Joe. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really, really, really interesting. The part of this that I know we're going to have many more episodes about is that at some point you came in contact with someone by the name, I believe, of the name of Paul.
That's right.
Okay, now let's, in this case, because I do not know the person yet, let's say you came in contact with Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith is blind, and it sounds like he did a lot of sailing. Now, sailing is something that I love and something that I want to do more of. So tell me about your experiences sailing with this blind person.
The story goes slightly different. Now, why? Because I am a sailor in the way that I have been in the Italian Navy for 3 years. Indeed, and I've been sailing with the frigates of the Navy for 3 years. So I do have a bit of a sailing experience on my own. But when I met Paul for the blind interview, which is the name of the podcast that I'm running, I discovered an incredible character, because this guy, I invite you to keep in touch with Paul himself. These guys have been around sailing, but not only, because the guy has been traveling pretty much all over the world, over and over and over again. There is another podcast which will be released, I guess, in 2 weeks or 3, in which we speak throughout the experience he had going to the Kilimanjaro, on the top of the Kilimanjaro, and has been the first blind person ever doing it. So yeah, quite an interesting guy.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will have an episode of Aaron. I'm going to make sure to send this. I'm going to send this episode to him as a way of reaching out and seeing if I can get. So Paul, Aaron's Opinion, right here in action. We would love to have you as a guest here. So
I'm sure that he will be.
I'll send it over to him and see if he reaches out, and see if he reaches out to me. But in the meantime, so where has he sailed to all over the world?
He did. So what the guy did, the guy works in an office in London, and through charity, he managed to train himself in order to sail on a sailing team. So he did have an incredible experience, because he did have the possibility to join for the team for part of the race. And then at some point, as he speaks through the interview, you will discover that he also had the chance to exchange a team for a few days. So, and he did have an experience at the must. So he did sail for real. I mean, it's not just being guest. And this is the mind-blowing thing, because, of course, guys, I am not blind. So I am extremely humbled, and really, I am mesmerized by your force of intention, of all of you. Your power of imagination, your creativity, and approach to life. And the stories of you people are so different and so inspirational. And I'm really grateful for all the things that you are teaching me when I listen to
Well,
your stories.
I appreciate that. I'm sure as you go back and listen to Aaron's opinion as you scroll through the episodes, I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll learn a lot. But
Oh, yes, absolutely.
what has been um, but by the way, Aaron's opinion is available in a lot of places. We didn't actually clarify that question. Where do you listen to podcasts if you don't have Apple?
No, I do go on Spotify. No problem. Sorted. Sorted,
Okay.
sorted.
Spotify.
Sorted, sorted,
There we go.
sorted.
Well, when you go back and you listen to Aaron's opinion, I'm sure you may learn a lot. But what has been the most unexpected lesson that you have learned from interviewing blind people?
Um, well, one of the things that I am extremely fascinated by, and because of this discipline, this martial attitude project that I'm running, um, is the connection between blindness and space awareness. So
What is, now, can you go into more details about
yes,
what
yes,
does that mean to a
yes,
blind person? Talk about it.
exactly. Yeah, that this is the good question. This is a very good question, Aaron. And I'm trying, let's say, to make myself a picture of what this exactly means. Because as a sighted person, fully sighted person, I do have a perception of what space is around myself because I can see it. Now, if I take off sight, or and I never had sight, let's say, so I'm fully blind from birth, um, I don't have the same understanding of space. I mean, this is undeniable. However, many of the activities, for instance, we're talking about Paul going out and sailing or reaching for the top of Kilimanjaro, does involve a lot of physical space. So, and if a blind person go from Manhattan to Jersey, say, we have a public transport, I don't know, it does takes a lot of courage, a lot of uh, drive, a lot of intention, a lot of vision, if you allowed me to use this word,
Of course.
because you have a perception of the space around you. And I find this extremely fascinating because there is, let's say, a skill set which is hidden in all of us, but blind people kind of rise from need from inside to manifest this power, let's say this superpower of moving into space, even if you don't see the space you are moving in. Now, we know that different blind people, they do relate to space differently. Some, they move better, faster, more comfortably. Some do not, or do less. But this is what I'm trying to investigate more and more throughout the interviews. But as you ask me, what's the most incredible thing, is really the the willingness to go beyond. Even in the Facebook group, in which I shared my episodes,
In
or I
which
read your.
in which I would be in which, by the way, if it's is it the same group that I'm in?
Yep,
Oh, must be.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I read it time to time the comments and the threads of conversations um, between other people, and some are, they turn blind from, I don't want to say from one day to another, but yes, that's happened too. Um, and there is so much discomfort, there is so much um, difficulty. It is so difficult, it is so unfair, so complex to handle. So the through the interviews, what I am learning is this incredible willingness to, you know, you do what you have to do, you follow the things that you like, you learn things to deliver. It is just different, and it can be done. And this is something that is inspirational for everyone. So that's why um, I like to share the blind interviews within the group, but I also share them with my friends and of course and with my contacts, because I think that it is very interesting for everyone to listen to your story, guys. So this is what I have taken with me so far, um, being in touch with the blind community, if I can call it blind community. If this answer your question.
It certainly does, and that's all very interesting. Um, I think it's really important to interview other blind people who have accomplished these certain things because I don't know about you, but when I read through that particular group on Facebook, there's a
Hmm.
lot of blind people around the world who are just having a really hard time, to put it
Yes,
lightly.
yes.
And my greatest concern
Hmm.
is that in about 30 or 40 or 50 years, we're going to have a population
Hmm.
of blind people who maybe will be resentful and
Hmm.
not very motivated. And I
Hmm.
think I'm very concerned that this will have a impact on society, an impact that
Correct.
we are not fully willing to accept and an impact to which we are not fully aware. So I think that my basically one of the things that I do on my podcast is I try to motivate people and I try to say, look, life is not fair. Life has become significantly more difficult this year than any other. But even still, you need to be moving towards some sort of a goal. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, if you're home, if you're staying home more and doing more social distancing now these days, then this would be then there's no time than the present to decide that now is the time that you want to make plans for the future. To decide, okay, when we're able to travel all over the world again, like it was before this happened. When I'm able to travel again, you should say to yourself, "Oh, there are 3 places I'm going to go, and there are different people I'm going to meet, and you people should be making these plans now in their mind, definitely." Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I am totally with you in on this. Um, is a very strange time, and it is a kind of great equalizer. You know, society has been moved by this thing, and I am personally thinking that this is just the beginning of a wave.
Yeah. But
So,
indeed, by the way, I must say that I watched a program on television regarding this sensitive health topic, and I must say to you that I'm very, very, very sorry. It occurs to me that your country, Italy, was really, really, really affected by the situation.
oh
So
yeah, we
Italy
will
was just nailed.
we will understand later what happened. Of
But you
course,
see,
now we
Matthias,
know
this
that.
is exactly, and what you said. See, this circles back to